Mark Tatum, Deputy Commissioner and COO of the National Basketball Association.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you all.
Dr. Richard Lapchick, thanks for being with us here on R&R on Sports.
Thank you for having me.
Civil rights icon, Dr. Edwards, how are you today?
I'm doing a heck of a lot better than I deserve, I'll tell you that.
Sports commentator, Scoop Jackson.
Good to be back on with you all.
Ian Griffey Jr., how are you today, sir?
I'm good. How about you guys?
It's R&R on Sports.
R&R on Sports.
Behind the ball, Woods puts it. And in! He has done it! Tiger is back! Tiger is back on top! Tiger Woods, the 2019 Masters champion!
Hello, and welcome to R&R on Sports. My name is Howard Robertson.
And I am the most distinguished, fantastic, outstanding, svelte, impeccable, skilled, and of course, meritorious up in this mug. It's the great Larry Robinson. What's up, America?
Meritorious? Who is that? Some chick you went to high school with?
That was my high school sweetheart.
That's dumb.
Listen, man, you know where I get this from, right? So two reasons why I opened the show this way.
Out of your bizarre brain.
Well, first and foremost, being out of Louisville, Kentucky, I got, that Muhammad Ali thing going. Secondly, there was this brother at Kentucky State University named Isidore Rich. So every time the band, they introduced the band, he'd go through this. It's the outstanding. And then all five of them would walk out.
All five of them?
But nah, man, Kentucky State had an amazing band. But nevertheless.
My brother went to Kentucky State on a drum scholarship.
Oh, man, Kentucky State's band was the truth. Yeah. I'm serious. It was the truth. So
don't be talking about all five of them walked out.
But now, Isidore Rich, man, he used to be the academic advisor for the basketball team and for all sports, really. And, man, he used to, just the way he would introduce the band, you would think the biggest, most grandest, amazing band is about to walk out.
That's how HBCUs roll, baby.
Yeah, man.
With
it
the
was
bands,
amazing.
That's how they roll.
It was amazing.
If you have never been to an HBCU football game and witnessed the performance of their bands, you have missed out on a most tremendous entertainment.
Absolutely.
Source of entertainment.
So people actually stay for halftime at the HBCU games because the band is just so amazing.
Yeah.
It's just
Some come for the halftime. As I look across the table here,
we got a guess.
This fella here, I think missed the turn and came into the wrong studio.
He missed the.
He was supposed to be down the hall.
B,
but he came in here and he got slightly disoriented. Came in here, put on some headsets, sat behind a mic.
I know it wasn't my fault.
Nobody's blaming you.
Introduce yourself while you over here taking out.
Malvin Massey from WUM. Are you?
No, you're not. You Malvin Massey from Riffin on Jazz, one of our other shows on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
All right.
So I told you he got disoriented.
I see, man. Yeah. We're gonna have to give him some vertigo medicine.
Malvin Massey, how you doing, brother?
I'm good.
Welcome to R&R on Sports, my man.
I railroaded into this, but it's pretty cool.
Now we're gonna talk some sports.
Well,
we're gonna talk some sports, some stuff that Malvin goes back. Malvin,
I know. He was playing when they didn't wear helmets.
Yeah,
he was playing football, and then he's got a little dent in it. He got a little dent in the middle.
In the backyard, yeah.
He's probably a CTE carrier now.
You run into the side of the house. It was serious back then.
It's good.
Hey, man, we appreciate you coming on. But once again, guys, it's Riffin on Jazz is one of the shows on the KUDZUKIAN Network. And we want to make sure that you guys know that. But we on R&R right now.
That's right, man. We got a lot to talk about. When we come back with more R&R on Sports on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
It's R&R on Sports.
Yo, this your boy Chris Brown.
David West, Golden State Warriors.
Hey, this is Dr. J.
This is Shaq Adocious.
Yo, what's up? This is Ice Cube.
And you're listening to a little R&R.
R&R on Sports.
Do you ever feel under any kind of
pressure or any kind of prejudice. I mean, golf's quite often seen as an upper class white game. Did you ever feel that at all?
Oh, every day. Not every day, but every time I go to a major country club, always feel it. You can always sense it. People always staring at you. What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. When I go to Texas or Florida, you always feel it because they're saying, why are you here? You're not supposed to be here. And that's probably because that's where all the slavery was. So, oh well.
So do you feel in some ways that you can help change that if you became like the next Jack Nicklaus type figure or the next Tom Watson, that maybe that would re-educate people?
Since I'm black, it might be even bigger than Jack Nicklaus. I might be even bigger than him to the blacks. I may be sort of like a Michael Jordan in basketball or something like that.
From the mouth of babes, as they say. That was a 14-year-old Tiger Woods.
Man, he's awfully prophetic.
You ask what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the 2019 Masters.
Wow,
that's what we're going to talk about.
So what you got? Tell me from a perspective of a senior citizen,
from an OG.
Yeah,
I think it was one of the most phenomenal things I have ever seen. And I put it right up there with the pride that I had watching Doug Williams in the Super Bowl, the pride that I had always watching Michael Jordan perform at that level, pride that I have watching Olympics and all of that. What I saw, to me, was a real life metaphor for African Americans. And
what do you mean? Wait, unpack that, brother. Unpack that.
I'm going to unpack that just very, very quickly.
And give Malvin some time to talk, man. Give Malvin some time to talk, man. You just dominate the damn whole microphone and air and everything. So finish up and hurry up and give Malvin time to speak, man.
This is your show, huh? Okay. So anyway, here's what I mean by that. I mean that anybody, and I say a metaphor for African Americans, and that is because we were put down and knocked down for so many years, and we always find a way to raise up, to get up, and that's what he did. That's exactly what he did, and I don't know anybody who doesn't get goosebumps from seeing something like that. Fifth Masters, 43 years old, 8 total surgeries, 4 back surgeries. Who comes back from that?
Man, I can't even imagine coming back from that.
Okay,
listen,
Mal,
this is R&R on Sports, and we're speaking about Tiger Woods and the way that he just kind of has captivated the attention and imagination of everybody once again.
And reaching back like you did, but talking about pride as far as like back in the day, old guys, Muhammad Ali.
Oh yes, every time he fought. Every time he fought,
he overcame an awful lot, and he still won. He was still fighting, and he was always himself, and he was always a black man.
Yeah.
And Tiger has come back and put himself in this arena of greats at a sport that it wasn't that long ago black folks couldn't even do.
And in Ali's case, what put him down was the U.S. government.
Right.
And and what put Tiger down was injury and scandal and controversy and all of that.
His love for Applebee's was a part of that too. Well, it seemed like he still might have a love for restaurants.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he liked restaurant staff, because I heard his new girl is a restaurant lady, but
to see him not only win, but to see him have the opportunity to embrace his son like his daddy had the opportunity to embrace him when he won the Masters. Man, that's
you gonna let the young G talk for a second?
Movie stuff.
Who
would be the young G?
That would be me. That would be me, the young G.
That's true.
It's your show. It's your show, man. Go ahead.
Well, listen, now, one of the things that was most special to me, being a father, was seeing him be able to experience this moment with his kids.
Yes.
And the fact that afterwards he said that he asked them because of the soccer tournament got canceled. So he asked them, hey, you guys want to come up, for the Masters? And they kind of hemmed and hawed a little bit. And then they said, well, yeah, we'll come on up. And for him to be able to experience that with his two kids was the most heartwarming thing that I can say I took from it. Yes,
And his mom. And his mom, who's always been there.
And in the background.
Yeah.
She's always stayed until he got
always
into
been at the tournaments when he was a young kid. His dad might not be out there, but his mama was a fixture.
Well, she kind of like a sister then. She kind of like a black mama, at the basketball, at the AAU tournament. They'd be like, that's my baby. Go, boy. Shoot that ball. But I wonder what she was saying. Put that ball.
But did you hear what he said? And now this was again a 14-year-old Tiger Woods. Now understand this. He had been on the Merv Griffin show and whatnot as a little bitty kid. But when he was 14 years old and going around to all of these tournaments and playing these tournaments, he said how he felt the reaction that he got. Folks stared at him, looked at him strange. What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. That is a day in a life of anybody who looks like us.
Yeah. Very akin to probably what the Williams sisters felt on the tennis court. These elite, quote unquote, white sports that these individuals have infiltrated in a sense and kicked down the door and brought their own chair and whatever metaphor you want to use. They became the number one entities in these sports. And they can always talk about those times when they weren't so quite well known and how they were treated by fans, treated by people that were at these country clubs.
Yeah, when they just thought they were just regular. Yeah. When they just thought they were just an average, any Joe Blow
Jane
black
Blow.
person.
Yeah.
A black person. Yeah.
No, it had to be Janiqua Blow.
Right. Before they got shown
before she was Serena.
Yeah.
She was Serena and Venus.
Absolutely.
And Tiger.
So,
man, salute to them. Salute to them. Salute to Tiger for making my Sunday just so special. Because, man, it was a major, just a heartwarming thing to see you revisit that great glory that all of us sit back and just really appreciate.
And speaking of greatness, we've got a great on today. It's great for us to have Cris Dishman, former defensive back with the Oilers for the longest period of time.
Absolutely.
But all-star and just, fantastic.
I've been knowing him since back in Christ the King, back on 44th and Broadway, Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, you claim him, huh? Will he know you?
Yeah, he might. Just a little bit. He just might know me a little bit.
Will he remember you?
But let me tell you something, man. You talking about back then, he was an amazing athlete even as a kid. I mean, but his family, his dad.
Track records like at Purdue, didn't he?
But see, his dad, but he got track records for the state of Kentucky that just recently have been eclipsed.
Wow.
His dad was an amazing athlete. His sister ran in the Penn relays, and I played basketball in college with one of his brothers. Colin and Bill. I mean, just some amazing family, and I think you will really enjoy this interview.
Cris Dishman here on R&R on Sports when we come back after this.
Riffin on Jazz.
When two friends get together to kick it
about jazz, it's called Riffin on Jazz.
Catch us riffing on jazz every week right here on your favorite broadcast or podcast platforms.
Riffin on Jazz on the KUDZUKIAN Network. KUDZUKIAN!
Hello, everybody. This is WNBA President Lisa Borders, working with all the good folks at R&R Sports. Let's go.
Ain't funny that the way you feel shows on your face.
Welcome back to R&R on Sports iConversation. Today, the icon is that of a two-time Pro Bowler and All-Pro defensive back.
And also state record holder in Kentucky for the 200 and 400 for many, many years.
So sounds like you know a little something about this person.
Hey, man, I only grew up with the brother, man. I only grew up with the brother. Christ the King Elementary School down in deep West End of Louisville, Kentucky.
We are talking about none other than Cris Dishman, former NFL player with the Houston Oilers, Kansas City Chiefs, the Vikings, and the Washington Redskins. Cris, welcome to R&R on Sports.
Well, thank you guys. But Larry, man, you've been in Memphis too long, man. You sound Louisville. You know it's Louisville. Come on, man.
You know, they get on me for that. They actually get
you try to do the production. You talk about Louisville. I'm like, what is he talking about?
Yeah. He tried to get brand new, and you busted him. I appreciate that, Cris.
Right?
Hey, man, we supposed to
voice orders, man.
Us Louisvillians have to stick together now. You don't side up with these Memphis folk, man.
You got problems.
No, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to get you to say, man.
Tell him he needs to keep it real.
Yeah, you got to keep to your roots. It's Louisville.
Louisville, all right there, Louisville there.
Yeah.
So, Cris, tell us how things are. Tell us a little bit. Give us the high ends of the career in terms of that and what you've been doing since.
My high end was 1988 when the Houston Oilers finally drafted me. They drafted me in the 5th round, 125th pick. And, I got into Houston, met with the coach Jerry Glanville. Coach Nick Saban was my head coach.
Wow.
My defensive back coach, rather, not head coach. Jerry Glanville was the head coach. Nick Saban was the defensive back coach. They told me if I get in and work hard, prove to them that I can play, that I have a long career, and that they don't really matter what round I got drafted in. They ended up drafting a guy in the 2nd round. They had 3 corners there, and they drafted me in the 5th round, and I ended up making the team that year, and the guy that was drafted in the 2nd round, they ended up putting him on injury reserve. So I was blessed to go in there and show exactly what I was capable of doing, and with the opportunity. And it was just fortunate that they played the same style of defense we played there at Purdue, bump and run, in your face, man-to-man type of defense. And I was very fortunate to get drafted by the Oilers and play that style, continues that style which I like to play.
Now, let me ask you something. When being drafted in the 5th round, did you come in a little tentatively? I mean, do players drafted as higher draft picks come in with a certain attitude and whatnot in camp?
Well, yeah, the guys drafted in the first 2 rounds, they're automatically on the team.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They give you that big signing bonus for a reason. My signing bonus is a tax write-off. So
now, don't.
So that's.
Well, no, I was going to say, we can't gloss over the Purdue career because the brother that lined up on the other corner from you happened to be an All-Pro NFL DB by the name of Rod Woodson, right?
Correct.
Yeah, y'all were a heck of a DB, defensive backfield.
Rod was the right corner, and I was the left corner, and we had a good talented secondary back then at Purdue. So, but my high point as far as my career was getting drafted, and had to come in and prove myself. And it was like not just once, every single day you have to come in the NFL and prove yourself that you belong. And I was fortunate enough to do that and had a 13-year career. Like I said, I was able to make 3 Pro Bowls and All-Pro and all that stuff, luxury stuff too as an individual. But it's the team goal that is most disappointing that I never got a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And of all these years, I've never been to the Super Bowl because I told myself that I'm not going to the Super Bowl unless I'm playing in it. So,
oh, really? So you've never been to the Super Bowl?
I've never been to the Super Bowl. That's one thing has eluded me. And still, I'm not going to the Super Bowl unless now I can't play in it, so I have to be able to coach in it.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, what's the biggest difference you see as now on the other side? What do you see different between the players of today and the youth of today versus cats that came along when you were in the league?
Well, it's 2 things, and I don't want to say soften, but 2 things. The game is a little loose on now. is the way they protect players. And I'm sure that the head injury and all that is a big concern, and I'm concerned about it too now coaching. But it's a way that you can hit with the shoulders and still not get penalized. And it's now that it's so much, they're overemphasizing the penalties more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's taken away the integrity of the game, because a fan is not only just come to see offense, they come to see football. And unfortunate, you have to have offense, you have to have defense, and you have to have special teams. You have to have all three phases that's connecting in order to have a good football game.
You're listening to R&R on Sports.
If you just come and see football, then we might as well go out to these 7-on-7 tournaments and just watch them throw the ball around.
Right. Were you trained to lead with your head in terms of that?
We were always taught to hit with our shoulders. We were never taught to hit with our head.
Wow.
Because
Okay.
you can break your neck. You can break your neck or get yourself knocked out or something like that. And we were always taught to turn your head across when you tackle, head across the guy's body, pop him up with your shoulders and lift.
Mm-hmm.
Head-on collision, running back is 260-something pounds like Kevin Mack. You taught to cut his butt down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to play as 177 pounds. I didn't want to go up against a guy like Kevin Mack straight on, so I cut him down as a defender. And that's what was always taught. And then some of the things now people do that. You see some hits that when guys are doing it right, they get penalized, so it makes everybody cautious. Making everybody cautious as far as the fines they get. I don't want $100,000 out my check.
Right.
Or $50,000 out my check, so I'm going to play a little cautious, and I think that's what's hurting the game.
Right. Well, when you have those players like the Pac-Man Jones and some of those that are what we would consider daredevil style of players, and those that even when you compare them to some of those of yesteryear like Jack Tatum, where do you see football going? Do you see it continually getting softer? Do you ultimately see football as almost touch or flag as it relates to the quarterbacks?
Do you see new developments in helmets?
Well, I know the headgear has gotten better. You know what I'm saying? As far as, number one, the headgear, the equipment has gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
So modern technology has caught up with football, which is great. So there's a way that you can censor those helmets and know what forceful impact or what cushions you can put on inside that helmet to keep your head more safer. So the game has gotten safer because technology has gotten better. So we can still play the game like you played before because of the technology of the equipment and everything is a lot better. People understanding more about the concussions, about when to diagnose the concussion. Because, when we played, when we was young, I got a lot of head ringers, but it was more like shake it off, sit over, drink some water, shake it off as much as possible, and get back into the game because you're trying to help your team win as much as possible.
Right.
But these days, the symptoms is so alarming that now that we're educated and understanding what the symptoms are, I think it's more the education part of it than anything has need to happen. And understanding. And I do like the way they have the concussion protocol as far as the guy getting dinged, having a person upstairs, actually seeing that. Because coaches, we look out there and try to see it, but we can't see everything.
Mm-hmm.
So having a person upstairs or having someone upstairs, a doctor upstairs, and monitoring that, I love that part of it.
Have you seen a good amount of repercussion and whatnot from head injuries incurred back when y'all were playing ball?
Well, yeah, you see some of that, and it's just like it's just like everything else. No one's the same when they were 15 to 20 years old. So it's gonna take a little, and especially getting banged and hit all those years, things is gonna happen. It's gonna jar. It's just like a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
A boxer so many years, just like my favorite boxer in the world, my icon, Muhammad Ali. After so many years of getting hit in the head and hit like that, it takes a toll on you. Because your body is not used to it. Your body is not supposed to be used to nothing like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So eventually it takes a toll. So, and that's what the people need to understand, that football players or any players is the same as anything else. We put our body through that because of your entertainment.
Right.
That's what we put our
At the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
So don't turn your back on us when we asking for help.
Right.
And that's what really pissed me off about that. A lot of people turn their back on ex-players when they're asking for help. But when I was there to entertain you, I was great. And now I need your help, I'm not. So it's a way that you have to be able to go through everything and cipher it and understand that we put our bodies through that because we love number one, we love the game. Number two, it's for your entertainment. So while you was cheering and grinning and yelling and he's made a great play, he made a big hit, but yet still that's a part of our body that we're taking away from.
Absolutely. We're talking football with NFL great Cris Dishman, and we'll be back with more R&R on Sports after this.
This is Dr. J. You're listening to a little R&R on Sports.
Keeping it real, right, and funky.
Is this an opportunity that we can seize and express interest from the governor and the state to act on behalf of young people in Shelby County? There are stories that we don't want to tell because they will piss some folks off, make some folk mad.
Funky politics on the KUDZUKIAN Network. KUDZUKIAN!
Hey everyone, this is Mark Tatum, Deputy Commissioner of the NBA, and you're listening to R&R on Sports.
Back for more R&R on Sports with former NFL great Cris Dishman. Cris, you graduated from Purdue in 1988. You got a degree. How unusual is that in this day and time?
Right.
Relative to that, and then went on to play professional football. Now, if you look at the climate and culture and landscape of college sports, what do you see? Talk to us about what you see with the whole one and done thing, with the whole leaving school thing or whatever. How do you feel about that culturally?
Well, times have changed. At first I was kind of like, that one and done is not going to work. But if I'm a player and I have to, and I'm good enough to do one and done, it's like in basketball. If I'm that good, like a Zion Williams, like those guys, if I'm that good, then, and I know that I can come back and get my education, and I can go ahead and, as they say, while I'm hot, I got to stay hot.
Right.
I have to go and make that money.
Right.
I have to go out and support my family. I have to go out and be able to support myself. Because if I stay in college 2 or 3 years, something happened, I get my ACL tore, and you can tear your ACL, and you can have injuries no matter what. But just say something happens and then now I'll go from a first-round pick until probably a mid-round pick. So those one and dones, I actually kind of like them going out as long as they can be strong enough to come back and get their education. So that way, if something do happen while they're playing, that they have their education to fall back on. That part, I would hope every school or every team will make them. Well, you can't make a grown man do something, but and try to enforce them to go back into the schools to get their education.
How much did it help you in the NFL having a college degree? And you were blessed in another way as well. You had a 13-year career in the NFL. Did it help you in any way, shape, or form being a college graduate?
My degree was criminal justice. As you know, I'm not using my degree.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an undercover narc.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to be.
It ain't too late now. You can.
No. Time's too bad right now. No. The Blues got it bad right now. And I wouldn't.
You got the record in the 200 meter too, and the 400. Man, they can't outrun you.
I know. I probably chase them down, but I'm worried about the homeboys coming from the eye. I want to make it home to my family.
There you go.
But as far as that, it helped me realizing that what different scams are out there. And it's unfortunate people prey on the athlete as far as the scams. Your agents can scam you. Your best friend who you grew up with can start scamming you. And it's so much that they have to deal with, It's crazy in today's world. Well, I was so fortunate and blessed to have family support.
Yeah.
You know, my mom and dad, my brothers and sisters, you know, we was a family.
Yeah, you all were.
They never asked me for anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they was there because they was happy for me more than anything. And if anyone else tried to get out of place with me or tried to ask for this or ask for that, they didn't even have to get to me. My brothers and sisters and mom and dad would say, no.
They was going to have a problem, huh?
Yeah, so you got to run everything through them. And it never really got to me.
This is R&R on Sports, and we're speaking with NFL great and Purdue University graduate Cris Dishman. Cris, when you think about now we got a long history of knowing each other since childhood. Now, I remember back in the day, you mentioned your family, and that was a great segue, when we would be playing Little League basketball. Your dad used to harass the heck out of you from the stands.
Probably was my mom more than anything.
I used to feel so bad. You know, I'm a 6th grader, and this all-star 8th grader was literally being harassed by his parents in the stands. You know, you got parents that are helicopter parents that are all now, you know, everybody wants their kid to be LeBron James or some great OBJ or somebody. What did that effect have on you, having your parents in the stands, actually telling you that you were great and all those things, but actually really being critical of some of your efforts? How did that impact your career?
Yeah, it impacted a lot because it holds me accountable. It held me accountable for who I am and what I want to do. You know, and you can always tell as a coach now, and I treat kids the same way, you know, as I was being taught and coached. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth whether you like it or not. And you have to cipher through the truth and figure out how you're going to handle it. Then if you can't handle the truth, what's that old saying, you can't handle it?
Mm-hmm.
You can't handle the truth.
Can't handle the truth.
Because just like my mom and dad always told me the truth. They never try to sugarcoat nothing.
Nope.
Because life is hard. And you guys know that it's hard. And there's going to be some things in life that you have to take a hit on. Then once you take a hit, is how you bounce back from that hit. How you can keep moving forward. How you can keep getting up every morning, saying your prayers, thanking God for, hey, thank you for waking me up this morning, Jesus. I know that life is not going good for me now, but hey, it's going to come. In order to see that pot at the end of the rainbow. And that's why I was so fortunate to have such great parents where they kept me being consistent and keep on, just keep on at it, you know? So if you think the stance is bad, the ride home.
I could only imagine.
That was worse.
Mr. Dishman, man. Mr. Dishman used to be rough.
The stance was easy. The ride home was like, oh, you just do this right. You got to listen to more the coach. You can't be talking about the coach. The coach is the coach. You know, they told me to respect the elders and respect the people who is coaching me, and respect your opponents. Because I remember one time I went through and I dunked on a guy, and I was all in the guy's face and all that stuff. And I'm thinking I'm a big shot. And I get in the car, and I was like, Dad, you see my dunk? He said, yeah, I saw that dunk. I saw you clowning like an ASS, too, at the end.
Now, listen, this is R&R on Sports, and we're speaking with Cris Dishman. So, Cris, you also do a lot of college coaching. You dealing with our young people and our young athletes. Should college athletes be paid? And we had Don Yee.
Yes.
Okay, well, there you go.
Short answer.
Yeah. What's the life of a...
Yes.
What makes you say that?
Well, I want to go back to my college days. And my mom and dad, I always thought my mom and dad was millionaires because every event they was at, not knowing that they took off of work or they did this or sacrificed this to be there for me. You know, as a kid, I never knew that. I just thought we was millionaires. But as I got in college, I realized that, hey, we're not millionaires like I thought I am. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because there's several things in college that, as a student athlete, we can't go and work like a regular student.
Right.
Yeah, we're getting our tuition paid for. I understand the tuition and books and all that. But there's other means you need also in college. And these days, as time has changed, because I didn't get a car until I was 1988. And I bought my own car. I didn't have a car in college. I remember Rod Woodson and I had to walk across campus almost every single day to our class because we didn't have cars on campus. Well, these days, times have changed. Kids want cars on campus.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And to saying that yes, they should be paid because the NCAA is making a lot more money now on kids than back then. You know, you have, like, say, some of your Power 5 teams, they're getting 10 to 20 million contracts just to wear some logo.
Right.
Well, where's that money going?
Well,
you know, and it's not just football. You've got your football program, your basketball program, your baseball. Where's that money going?
Mm-hmm. But the sports that are making the most money, and this is from Don Yee, Tom Brady's agent, the sports that are the revenue-producing sports are making money on the backs of poor black kids. Do you have any comment on that?
Well, I don't know the percentage of African American to the other ones like that, so I'm not really educated enough to say what's the percentage. But whatever it is, no matter if you're African American, Caucasian, or Latino, or whatever your nationality is, you're a student athlete.
Right.
And if you're a student athlete, then you should be able to have some type of stipend to be able to get you through times on Thursday night to go get you a pizza or something like that, or on Sunday when it's only one time that Sunday when training table's over, you should be able to go out and have money to get something.
Right.
Instead of washing your clothes. How do you wash your clothes? You can't always put your clothes on the loop or in a bag and take them over to the facilities and have them wash them. You know, you have to have money to wash clothes. You have to have money for entertainment. You know, how can you expect a guy to dress nice on trips if he comes from a subpar background,
right,
and subpar means to have a suit, to have a tie, or have pants or slacks, you know, or have good shoes to wear. You don't have to be name brand shoes, you know, just shoes itself to wear. You expect guys to do all that, but yet still you don't want to. How do you expect them to get it?
Now, it's funny that you would say that, Chris, because literally we had an intern that played for the University of Memphis here at KUDZUKIAN and R&R on Sports. And his parent died. And we were going to buy him a suit because the young man did not have a suit. And we were told, I wanted to make sure and speak with the folks at University of Memphis because I wanted to make sure we didn't do anything to damage this kid's career. We were told that if we buy him a suit or if we supply anything as a gift to the family during this time of grief, like water, food, any of this kid would be ruled ineligible.
It's an NCAA violation, and he would be ineligible.
Yeah. Right. And so to me, that's when the rules are totally out of place and misutilized.
Just like, say that kid's in Minnesota, say he lives down in Florida. How do you expect him to get home if something like this to happen? Yes. I know they have a grief. They do have some type of help that they do help those kids in dire situations like that, but yes, the college athlete these days and times should be getting paid. The college athlete in my day and time should have been getting paid. Yes, I know they call us amateurs. Yes, we're amateurs, but amateurs making a lot of money for the schools.
And the NCAA.
So we're going to advocate for reparations for Cris Dishman from when he was playing at Purdue. The brother needs to be paid because he went hungry for a while, but never again. Chris, we want to thank you, man, for being.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. Nothing against those. I don't even know how to pronounce the name. Raymond Ramanoodles. I did double beef with beef, and double beef with beef. A lot on those.
Man, I know you shoot seven for $1 back in the day. Got me through college as well.
I know. So now my kids warm that stuff up. I just have to go outside.
That's right. That's right.
I can't eat a ramen.
No fond memories whatsoever about that. Chris, we appreciate you being with us here on R&R, and ask that at some future point you consider being with us again. Would you do that?
Oh, it'd be great, man. It was always great to talk to you guys. Y'all keep me in mind whatever you me, man, but we got to get your pronunciation of Louisville right, and it's not Louisville.
Give me a hard time, brother.
He needs your counsel, man. He still needs your counsel because he gets in trouble in a lot of ways. Back with more R&R on Sports.
Hello, everybody. This is Tim Brown, 2015 NFL Hall of Fame inductee, and you are listening to R&R on Sports.
R&R on Sports is proud to be on Sirius XM.
So what's R&R stand for?
Real talk and relevant sports issues.
It's racial and relative. We're brothers from the South. We can relate.
R&R on Sports on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Back for more R&R on Sports.
Back!
And we got to get out of here, but Malvin, man, my shout out goes to you first.
Well, I appreciate that.
For making the wrong turn and coming in here and putting on some headphones like this was Riffin on Jazz.
But I appreciate the idea that you guys got so much energy. It makes me have energy just coming in here listening to you.
And y'all check out, make sure you check out Riffin on Jazz on the KUDZUKIAN Network. It's on all the major podcast platforms. You can find it and listen to this cat. He is a musical jazz aficionado genius.
Aficionado genius.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Official genius?
Official genius.
That boy official? Official?
Okay,
that boy official.
So my shout out goes to Russell Wilson.
Why?
Because he just got paid. Russ, let me hold some, bruh.
Yeah, for real.
I know listen, $140 million, 65 up front. So you can't tell me that you ain't holding nothing.
Now he's holding something. He got Sierra next to him. He holding something. He holding something for sure.
Say that.
He holding something for sure. Lord have mercy.
Yes. And now
the men all pause.
Yeah.
The men all pause.
I'd get me some glue.
I'd give me some pills.
I'd give me some glue.
I'd give me some blue diamonds.
And $100,000 in worms.
I'd have him
and glue it to her all over.
You nasty. See, these old nasty old men. Oh. America, I'm on the show being corrupted by some nasty old men. Now listen,
some Elmer's glue.
If you miss any part of R&R,
$100,000, Larry,
go to Spotify. Listen.
And I glue it all over.
See, you done turned this show into something else. Listen, if you miss any part of R&R, go to Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, any of your podcast providers, and listen to the show. And don't forget to rate and subscribe.
We are R&R on Sports. We appreciate you being here with us. We want you to be here with us next week, and we are going out with something that is most prophetic and unique. This is 14-year-old Tiger Woods.
What's the tournament that really captures your imagination?
The Masters.
Why is that?
The way the blacks have been treated there. You know, they shouldn't be there, and if I win that tournament, it'll be really big for us.
Okay, well, good luck anyway, Tiger.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Masters number 5, Major number 15, and Augusta National roars like never before, smiling and soaking in the moment. Tiger Woods, the 2019 Masters champion.
You've been listening to a little R&R on Sports, written and produced by Howard Robertson, Larry Robinson, recorded and mixed in Memphis, Tennessee.